My name is John Doran and I'm the TY coordinator, and I hope this message finds you both safe and well. I've been asked to share a few words to you about what TY might entail for your students should they wish to go down that path. Ordinarily, we would be having this discussion in the lunchroom in person, but these aren't ordinary times. So I'm going to share with you, I suppose, some thoughts, some ideas about transition year as a consideration for you in terms of it's the right decision for your son. The pandemic has robbed us of a lot of things, but what it hasn't robbed us of is the greatest advantage that TY can give to any student who goes down that path. And that is the opportunity for personal growth and time. Time to explore my strengths, my values, what makes me tick, who am I, why do I live and work the way I do, and probably the most important question that any young person can ask, perhaps a question for anybody at any age: what might I become? You know, if you leave school without knowing your strengths and your values, can you actually genuinely say you've had a good education? I don't think so. You get asked a lot of questions as a teacher. And a question that was asked to me some years ago: "Sir, how tall do trees grow?" I said, "Well, I'm not quite sure how tall the trees grow. It depends on the tree, I suppose. Is it deciduous or conifer? Californian redwood?" He said, "Sir, a tree grows as tall as it can." And transition year is about growth. It's about development. So I prepared a couple of slides for you just to talk you through the TY process, who TY is best suited for, and equally important, who TY is not suited for. And a lot of it is mindset and attitude. A lot of young people come into TY for friendship. We love to think the students come to school for the benefit of our friendship and the pleasure of our learning, but they come to make friends, to meet their mates. Also confidence, also to look at careers and career investigation. You know, a scanning of last year's Leaving Certificate results found that 9 out of the top 10 performers were transition year students, had done transition year. And that's been the same for every year in the last 4 to 5 years. Every leadership position in the school, from class prefects, student council, are all held by ex-TY students. And that's not a coincidence or an accident, because it's about leadership, it's about self-leadership. It's about showing up and being the best version of yourself. You know, if you're coming into TY because you're kind of ambivalent, you're kind of really want to put your feet up, and you've heard from your mates, well, it's not really a lot of work, I would respectfully say, you know what, nothing to see here. Please walk on to 5th year, because you'll be doing yourself and your parents a disservice by signing up, because you're going to find it a long and arduous year, and in turn, we as your teachers, you as your parents, will find it equally long and equally arduous. It's a different type of work, a different type of projects. It's working as part of a team. You know, it's everything we do in TY is carefully calibrated to the future. You know, as a career guidance counsellor, I get to meet a lot of HR people and ask them the question: who are you recruiting? You know, what CVs stay on your desk as opposed to getting filed under WPB, the waste paper basket? And it's all about, I suppose, who you are as a person, what you can bring to the table, your emotional intelligence, your ability to work as part of a team, to work independently, to show creativity, to show initiative, to be a self-starter, to have a positive attitude and disposition, to be a kind of a can-do person. You know, there's 2 things you can do with a box. You can tick it or think outside of it, to be creative, to grab opportunities, to make things happen, to realise you never know what could happen on the other side of the next connection, to network, to reach out, to realise that the best place to find a helping arm or hand is at the end of your own arm. TY is a very democratic year. It's all there for you. The secret sauce is the attitude and disposition and mindset of the person doing it. You'll get the chance to study things you've never studied before. Maybe you've never done art. You get the chance to do art, photography, or film studies, or philosophy, or life skills. You're looking at subjects like French or Irish or mathematics in a totally different new way. You do podcasting in English, drama, maybe speaking out. It's so important to be able to find your voice and have the confidence in your own competence to actually claim your place and space in this world. So proud of a couple of students in TY, and every year that when they land in a class, they may not know anybody. Maybe their best friends have gone on to fifth year, or perhaps they're in a different class. And every year I would have a couple of lads coming and saying, "Sir, can I move classes? I don't know anybody here." And I would say respectfully, you're going to have to give me a better reason than that. And I tell you why. I don't want to deprive you of a learning experience. He said, "So what do you mean, sir?" I said, I'm going to fast forward 10 years. You're going to be in a company. Do you think your mates, even one, are necessarily going to be in the same place you land in terms of work? You're going to have to meet new people, make new friends, and will add a richness and a diversity to your life as a result of the strengths and skills and character you develop in transition year. And we talk about, being a dandelion versus an orchid. An orchid is beautiful, but it requires a lot of maintenance if you have it one at home, and certain conditions for it to grow. Maybe X amount of sunlight, X amount of nutrition, X amount of water periodically over the course of a week. But see, a dandelion grows wherever it's planted. You put a dandelion anywhere, it'll seed and keep thriving. And TY is about thriving, not just survival. It's about landing in the space that you're in with the ability you have, the time that you've got, and doing your best and making friends. So please find these slides informative, I hope. And if there's any questions that arise from them, please keep in contact. My email is seandoran@patriciansecondary.com, and I'd be happy to get involved in a conversation with you. So to answer that question, is TY the year for my son? Well, what is it about really? It's about the challenging faces of our young people, the changing face of education and the world of work, and the need for a more skills-based learning experience for young people. Also, the age profile comes into play. If your young person is 14 or 15 and you feel they're too young to go on to fifth year, and a bit of time for the maturation process to grow, to slow down really, and to take a pause, and to make decisions about, where do I go in life? What do I want to do? Some students want to go straight on to fifth year, don't pass go, keep going, and that's the route for them. Others want us to take a little bit of time to calibrate, to slow down, to pause, to reflect, and maybe to explore themselves and opportunities that may come way. Some might find the third year being exhaustive, unrelenting in terms of the work involved, homework every single day. So they just want a kind of a change of pace, really. And for others, it's about being switched on. It's about just kind of looking at the opportunities in terms of work, etc. Just a bit of a time to look at other avenues to explore. This is one of my favourite pictures. It's a young person, I suppose, creating their own path and pathways in this life. So I suppose the first step is to realise that what the young person gets out of the year depends pretty much entirely on what they put in. So what you put in is what you get out. So if it is to be, it is up to me. I mean, you could have two students, one having the year of his life, the other student thinking it was a disaster, and the secret sauce really was their own disposition and their own attitude. But there is no doubt about it that there is a chance to explore the myriad of strengths, and we have a very much a strengths-based approach to transition year that exists within the person to kind of come out saying, golly, I've got this new talent for speaking or for drama, or I've got this newfound confidence that was always there, but I just didn't have the time really to see that it was already within me. I saw this in a school and I really adapted it. It doesn't matter how bright or brilliant you are. And sometimes a student will say, "So what's the criteria for application?" Well, we have an application form and every student is interviewed, and it's not on the basis of your academic performance. It's really about your attitude. It's the attitude of a TY student, not his aptitude, that determines his attitude. So are you kind of a person who's going to show up, who's going to attend? Attendance is a really important prerequisite for a successful completion of a good TY program. You've got to turn up, and we want to assess your commitment to doing that. Not only on the days that your favourite subjects are on, but on the days where the snow is on the ground and the temptation is to stay in bed. Those are the kind of students we want to actually front up and show up and take responsibility, take ownership, and take accountability. So again, can I stress, if it's about putting your feet up and doing nothing for the year, I'm honestly going to tell you that transition year is probably not the best option for you to consider. It's really a different type of work, and it's about getting the work balance right. So it's be project-based learning in the main, working together as part of a team, and it's very important that everybody
pulls their weight, because if you've got a 4-person team and one person is slacking, that means 3 other people have to take that weight up, and that's not fair. So we want to have fairness and parity, and it's also a chance for young people to assess what subjects they might want to take for 5th year. Third year has been so busy and so frenetic that sometimes they don't have a chance to breathe and to slow down and to think about those options. So it's a 1-year school-based programme that fits between the junior and senior cycle. I suppose it's designed to act as a bridge between both of those parameters and to promote a more independent, self-directed style of learner who's more in charge and taking ownership of the steering wheel of their own learning. And it's very much strength-based, focusing on what their own strengths and their own capacities, and to find and uncover those strengths and to play to them, most importantly. We have a mission statement in TY, and it's a very simple one. Work hard, be nice. That's it. And if everybody commits to that, it makes it a very pleasant year for everybody. We are very much about fairness, respect for all, engagement, safety, and an honesty of endeavour and effort and engagement. And it's really true what they say, that no investment, no reward. So the degree to which the young person is willing to invest will be the degree to which they are rewarded. And we stress to young people that opportunities, you never know when they could come. A work experience placement, for example. We've had students placed in Arizona. We've had students go to France and to Kenya. So opportunities will present themselves each and every day, like the carousel of a door in a hotel. And it's up to young people to walk through those doors and to take and seize those opportunities by exhibiting initiative. And sometimes what we say to young people, you've got to go for it. Say yes more often than you say no. And just take your courage in your hands and actually just go for it. Some of the challenges, I don't have to tell you, that face young people is, I suppose, a crisis of confidence in themselves, or in a world of social media continually comparing themselves, and they always feel lesser than. So what we try to do is build their self-esteem and self-confidence, and it's about relationships really in TY, the self-relationship with yourself and with other people. It's about teamwork and maturation, and a chance maybe to do work experience. Work experience has been a huge component of the year, and even at the moment this year we've had a number of lads on work experience and also on virtual work experience.
At this juncture, I would like to walk you through some of the structural changes that we've introduced on foot of a constant rolling review of transition year, to make sure it's as real and relevant as it possibly can be to the needs and the ongoing needs and the changing needs of our intake of students from year to year. So we've introduced a couple of things. Firstly, a thematic structure to the year. You might have noticed in the first session this year we had the theme of Japan. We also have various other themes like industry or friendship. So there's a cross-curricular basis to what we do. You might also be interested to know that we have up to 17 subjects. So as mentioned earlier, your young person could be studying philosophy or art or drama or film studies or positive psychology or a whole host of subjects. To maintain the integrity of the class contact time and space, we now have in each of the 4 sessions 6 weeks of, structured class contact time, which we retain the integrity of, with all activities outside of that in the 7th week, or in a week we call activity week. This is the week where there could be a guest speaker, or there could be an excursion, or there could be a workshop, or some other piece that's not closely aligned to what we're doing. There's a number of value adds to this. Firstly, it helps the teacher get more familiarity with the students. It also allows for more class tutor time as well. So it's really important initiative that we've brought into TY this year. We're looking at fundamentally participation, attitude, and attendance and punctuality. And we've got a 10-mark split for each. So the world is run by those who turn up, Woody Allen told us. Your attitude, not your aptitude, determines your altitude, was Zig Ziglar tells us. And attendance and punctuality, showing up as the best version.
The underlying intention being to reward and incentivise effort. To that effect, we will be differentiating the certificate in the area of 4 domains. First being distinction, second merit, third pass, and then finally participation. Participation being the person has set the bar so low you could easily step over it. Pass being from occasion to occasion the young person turns up. Merit being on the main they do, and distinction being that your son turns up in the very best version of themselves more often than not. Just to return briefly to work experience, it's really important to stress that we hope to have 3 specific tranches of work experience on the calendar for the following year. we don't intend people to have a unilateral approach to this work experience. In other words, we don't have carte blanche to remove a young person on foot of an opportunity that might exist or present themselves outside of those stated parameters. It would be really important, if such an opportunity occurred, that permission is granted by the deputy principal in charge of transition year, who in this instance happens to be Mr. Scallon, or indeed the principal. So it's really important that we protect the autonomy and the importance of the class contact times. Any opportunities that emerge outside of those timeframes must be giving the green light from the principal or deputy. That's important to state. So work experience, we acknowledge the importance of it to the TY experience, and if opportunities present themselves, they will be adjudicated on a case by case basis. So again, these are the aims: maturation, getting an experience of the adult and working life. And I always say to a young person, even if you start to realise the sacrifices your parents make going up and down the N7 and coming back and getting your breakfast ready and your dinner, you know, these are the small little things that young people are insulated from in the very safe environment that is a school. So to appreciate the work that's done and going on in the background is a really essential part of it. And also skills like communication and application and dedication and all of these things that actually go into making a successful life. And that intuitive resilience that, you know, if we said, if it is to be, it is up to me. And I like this little quotation: take your life in your own hand and what happens? A terrible thing, no one is to blame. We are about ownership, accountability and responsibility rather than blame, excuses and denial. So the calendar layer has work experience, normally visiting speakers. We normally take the lads to Carlingford, and we bookend the year with a trip to Tramore to go surfing, numerous excursions and field trips and outreaches into the community. I'd also like to mention things like the Gashka Award, which is a fantastic award by the president to actually, I suppose, reward young people for their initiative and to take up new skills. And I'd also like to mention the John Paul II Award, which is a wonderful initiative that the young people can engage in to promote their own self-leadership and their own essence and spirituality as well. Well, the methodologies are very much experiential. They're very much active, where the teacher is a facilitator and co-creator with the young person. So it's very much promoting the participation and the engagement and the initiative of the young people to co-create a curriculum where the young people feel interested and engaged. And again, the output is very much project-based learning. The assessments come by a modality of means: portfolios, can be oral or oral, project work, self-assessment, peer assessment, and written, with regular reports from Christmas to summer, etc. Evaluation, of course, is an essential component as well, with regular feedback from parents and students. Also, work providers and work placements can often give feedback to students, and we encourage young people to actually write and thank their employers for the opportunities available to them, but also to get some feedback on their performance. Now, there is a fee involved. I'm not so sure at the moment what that fee will be. I know traditionally the fee that the Patrician Secondary charges for participation in the TY programme is significantly less than other schools with comparable programmes in the vicinity. That's thanks to the benevolence and the support of a wonderful management team who really buy into what we're trying to achieve with Transition Year. So thank you indeed for listening, and we'll see you on the other side. Meanwhile, stay safe. Thank you very much indeed again.